This video goes over 1.7. Number 9, this is a reflection. We know because x and x do not match up. They kind of switched around their position between x and y. They reversed. So we call it a reflection. And using this arrow notation, we can say that wxyz became w prime, x prime, y prime, z prime. So for 11, this is my original image, A, B, C, D, a rectangle. And I could figure out the coordinates for the image, or I can count over 1, 2, 3 to the right, and down 1, 2. And this becomes A prime. I finish my drawing and label my coordinates here. That's what it looks like, and those are my coordinates. 13 and 15 are both reflections. The reflection of the mountain range on the surface of the lake, and the reflection of one wing across the butterfly's body to the other wing, the symmetry. For 17, I'm going to plot these 3 points, and then I'm going to reflect it across the y-axis. So here is a triangle, and point G will be opposite the y-axis here. We'll call that G prime. Whatever distance I travel to get to the y-axis, I travel it again. The same thing goes on for point F. F prime is over here, and H prime down in the corner. And you get this nice symmetrical little thing. For 19 and 21, we have A mapped onto B, B mapped onto C, and then C mapped onto D. The image of A is B, and the image of C is D. So that's using this terminology of pre-image and image for our transformations. For 23, I'm going to subtract 2 from each of my x terms and subtract 8 from each of my y terms. So all of my original coordinates are brought down, and I subtract 2 and 8 from each of them. And r prime is equal to -1, -12, s prime is equal to -3, -9, and t prime is equal to -7, -7. So for 25, if we wanted to graph this segment MN, and approximating where these coordinates would show up, once we move 2 to the right and 5 down, this is our new image. MN was the pre-image, M prime, N prime is the image. For 27, for this translation, that's what it means when we're adding the x and y, we're going to move right 1 and up 1 for each point on the triangle. And that's how we find the image. For 29, we can imagine there is a line of symmetry between these two triangles. And we notice that y reflects across to be over here. Same thing with x. The orientation is changed because it is a reflection. For 30, let's go point by point and subtract 2 from the x and add 1 to the y and see if they show up. So with D, -4 minus 2 is -6, which is possible here in J. But if I took 2 plus 1, I would get 3. So this one's out because that's a -1. If I try E, -3 minus 2 is a -5, which shows up here. -3 plus 1 is a -2. So that's our answer. If we tried for F, 1 minus 2 is a -1, which doesn't show up under any of the x's, so that rules out that one. For 31, we can take the new x value and subtract the original, and we get our transformation, or our translation. In this case, you subtracted 3 from 1 to get to -2. 32 is very similar. Put another way, we're saying -7 plus something is equal to -1. Turns out that answer is 6.